The LG Procast, the podcast, is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views or opinions expressed by the podcast hosts and guests do not necessarily reflect the official position of LG. For the latest and most accurate information about LG products, please consult relevant product manuals and related documentation. The information provided in this podcast episode is for informational purposes only and does not constitute professional advice. While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we make no representation or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the completeness, accuracy, reliability, or suitability of the information for any specific application in the following discussion. LG and those posting or otherwise providing information, content, or material are not responsible or liable for any consequences relating directly or indirectly to any action or inaction you take based on the information, content, or other material on the podcast.
Welcome to a very early press breakfast. We appreciate everybody getting up and joining us. I'm a moderator, Terry Fresenda. Sitting next to me, Mr. Philip Craigbaum. Who we got with us today, Philip?
Terry, thanks for having us. We've got Mr. Doug Bougher and Mr. Mark Ardire. Sorry, I knew I was going to say that wrong.
Said it right.
Doug's been with LG for quite a while. Let them introduce themselves. Mark is a new addition to our team. So why don't you guys briefly tell us a little bit about who you are at LG and what areas you cover?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Doug Bougher. I'm the Senior Director of Channel Sales, which is basically all our sales through wholesale distributors and our applied reps for both residential and commercial products. Good morning.
As I said, Mark Ardire, I'm the Director of Sales for our chillers and mission critical products, which we're really just launching in North America the past year.
Awesome. That's exciting. So Doug, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about just what you see in the industry changes, and Mark, obviously you can jump in as well, but what are some of the changes in the overall HVAC industry that you guys are noticing, and what is LG doing to address some of those?
So a couple of things. We'll start on the commercial side, then I'll move to the residential. Actually, let me switch that way if you have something on commercial. On the residential side, there's continuous trends with energy efficiency, specifically trying to reduce your energy costs, get a good return on investment on what you're buying. Something like 40% of maybe the energy costs associated with the home is maybe HVAC. People shifting over to more energy efficient products. We'll talk probably more about what's in the booth to come, but on the other side, as you guys look later, you'll see our unitary lineup that we're just launching, which is your traditional ducted systems for the home. And so that's really exciting to us because people in the HVAC industry has thought of us as just inverter products, just specific VRF products. But as you can see, we're basically able to provide products for all different types of systems for both residential and commercial. So it's pretty great. On the commercial side, and this has already happened for residential, there's this shift in refrigerant. And so that's really impacted our VRF business for this past year. And so that's great. And what we've been trying to do is just communicate how to handle that new refrigerant, how to handle our new products, the multi-VI that you can see in the back there. And we're working through that, and that's been great. But the thing that, another kind of third trend I would say that we're seeing is, this pent up demand for ability to finance commercial jobs. And so having that interest rate release, the pent up demand is kind of what we're waiting for. And we see a lot of new systems and new buildings be put in place once that happens.
Mark, anything on your side that you want to add to that?
The big important thing, as I said previously, we launched our chillers in North America pretty much at this show last year. And our deliveries are hitting, for our larger chillers are starting to hit the ground in the United States this month and as the year continues. It's important to remember that LG's been making chillers for almost 60 years. So this isn't something new for us. This is just something new for us in North America.
Mark, you mentioned a term that I had not heard before this morning. We're having a conversation. That's mission critical.
Yes.
Mission critical. Because everyone thinks data center. but tell me a little bit about mission critical.
So the data center industry and mission critical industry, it's kind of synonymous. You use those interchangeable. They just view their mission critical solutions as like what is provided by a data center, that information coming out. But yeah, data center solutions and mission critical, something I've said, it's kind of like a tomato thing, I guess.
Okay.
So hospitals,
Hospitals.
911 call centers,
Okay.
things like that.
In these instances,
Yeah,
stuff
very important.
happens. So that's
Absolutely.
so. Tell me a little bit about. We got these topics here. Tell me a little bit about Doug, if you don't mind. LG at AHR. What are we doing here? What do you?
So I already mentioned all the unitary products that we have, the traditional air conditioners that people have in their home that we've just started coming out with. Then also there's furnaces. We have some, one thing that I think is the most exciting with unitary is the ability to do dual fuel, to use some of the heat pump kind of inverter technology, but then still having a furnace backup.
Well, there's certainly markets between the Mississippi and the Rockies where gas is a predominant and less expensive source. So to your point, utilizing both technologies, inverter-driven heat pump and fossil fuel, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the number of hours that a house or any building sees at the lowest temperatures is pretty small. And so when you're talking about a return, you want efficient technology at whatever the temperature is. And so when the temperatures are in the operating range where heat pumps work the best, you want heat pump technology to be working right there, especially with inverter technology like LG has. So the dual fuel option can be fantastic in that case.
I know we're excited Philip and I are on the residential side, and we're very excited about the ability to have that in our platform.
Yeah, it's great.
What about on the commercial side? Any new products that are
So again, LG's been thought of on the commercial side as a VRF provider, which is a specific type of system. But if you look around this booth, the thing you don't see predominantly is VRF systems. They're still fantastic. We'll talk more about AI in a little bit, where, the technology, the capacity, the efficiency, all improving. But right behind us, there's a rooftop. We have scroll chillers right here that are expanding for our next generation, 30, 60, 90 tons. All the controls and building management systems that we have here too. It's getting to the point where any type of system that you might want, LG will be able to provide. And this is, one of another trend that I see happening is that you shouldn't pick one technology, one system over another. You should take the individual pieces to do what you need to do for your building, right? So that may include the combination of an LG rooftop, an LG chiller, some VRF, and incorporating all of them instead of going to one manufacturer for one, another manufacturer for another. We'll be able to have all of that for you.
That's powerful.
and you pair that with our building management and our controls.
Yeah, one thing that's actually not in the booth, but another product. We have too many products to put in the booth, and our booth is not tiny, right?
Right,
So
right.
so there's so many things that are coming out. We have hydronic fan coil units for the chillers coming out. They'll look and feel like our VRF indoor units. So that hybrid system that I'm talking about that you're moving toward, and the controls and how they interface, even though they're different types of systems technically, the look and the feel of your building may be the same.
Mark, back to you on mission critical and chillers. I was fortunate enough to be in a meeting with you yesterday with a customer and absorbing chiller data from you. And I'm like, wow, there's a really smart bunch of guys in this table. I should just really be quiet. Tell us more about this chiller. 60 years. That's the first thing. I didn't know that.
Just about.
That's-
Yeah. And just in the data center space, and everybody knows this, supply can't keep up with demand. And it's true for all manufacturers, and manufacturers have been expanding capacity to meet that rising demand constantly. And us, expanding our capabilities and offering capacity in North America has been well received because there is so much need. And data centers are massive power consumption hogs. They consume a massive amount of electricity. And so when they look at our chiller technologies and energy efficiencies we can offer, there's demand for more and more energy efficient, technology so that they can continue to reduce their energy consumption in the data center. Even if they keep the same amount of power, if the chiller system's using less power. They can put more power to a GPU, as a computer that's actually doing processing technology. So, with our inverter technologies and what our energy efficiencies are really helping drive some of that growth too. And so, it's just a matter of, you were part of the conversation yesterday. You're not talking one or two chillers at a time. You're talking dozens and hundreds at a time in these facilities. And so we just have to, continue to lean into what our customers are asking for and what the clients need for their facilities, and be able to adapt our products even at like ever so slightly to meet their, tight demands for their products.
Yes. What are the sizes and capacities of our chillers?
Our chillers range from 30 to 3,000 tons, depending on what type of chiller and technology you use. So we really run the gamut. We have full suite of air-cooled and water-cooled chillers.
So you said when we started the conversation, you said, "Hey, we introduced this chiller last year at this show, and now they're beginning to arrive, right, and
Yes.
to be installed." So is it a 1 year lead time? Is that
No, it's a very long sales cycle.
okay?
So unlike maybe some of the residential systems you guys are familiar with, where it's on demand or someone's building a home or needs to replace the system, it's really secular. In a data center or any type of chiller application, there's planning and stuff. It's a large unit. It's
Yeah.
they got to be lifted to the roof with cranes, or lowered down into a basement with cranes, and so there's a lot of planning that goes into it. So just in that the nature of the business, the sales cycle is longer than what we would expect in a unitary product line.
I heard you make a comment, and I kind of chuckled when you said it. How are we going to get those containers? Here, we're going to do what?
Well, some of the larger, we've got some clients that will need larger chillers that don't fit into a container. So we'll be building essentially custom truck beds that they're mounted to, and you're getting a chiller and a trailer of a tractor trailer with it that comes securely across the ocean. So that
So you get a chiller and a trailer free.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah, that we have to be adaptable since we're making them overseas to meet the demand of the customer, and so we come up with creative, innovative solutions to be able to deliver the product here.
Pretty cool. Let's talk about something that's near and dear to Philip and I's heart, and that is the topic says upgrading American homes. All right. Um, Doug, you want to take that now that you're the channel director for it?
Sure. Well, first I need to upgrade my home. I think that's
Yeah.
the first thing. But I think it comes back to a couple things. We talked about the energy trends, right? And the need to lower your energy bills. Super important. The next step, and we'll talk more AI on the commercial side, but the connectivity of data that we have, getting it into the palm of our hand, being able to control your home, every room differently, is super important.
Yeah, and I'll jump on that just a little bit because that's kind of where Terry and I live. Is when I joined LG almost 7 years ago, there was kind of this industry thought of LG as a mini split manufacturer, and we are. It wasn't necessarily thought of LG as a whole home solution at that time, and that has dramatically changed. We offer a full line, three full lines of air handler products and condensers ranging from 12,000 BTUs all the way up to 60,000 5-ton systems, and then also furnace lines of an 80% and 96% furnace. So the days of LG being just this mini split manufacturer, this niche product, that's gone, and that's exciting. And now we're and have been really for the last couple of years diving into a much bigger pond of the unitary replacement, new construction market.
And that doesn't even touch on everything else LG does.
Right.
You have in your home.
Right. Part of the scope and role that Philip and I have is we manage some builder business, and Doug's 100% correct. I can walk into a builder now from an LG perspective and say, okay, we can do your flooring, we can do your solid surface countertops, we can do your HVAC, we can do your electronics package, we can do your home automation, and that's starting to ring true. And then prior to you guys, we did a podcast this morning with this component solutions group next door, right? They're providing all the compressors and all the components and all the stuff for most of the legacy manufacturers that we do business with anyway. So somehow, some way, to Doug's point, we're putting some LG product in these homes
Yeah. LG is everywhere.
everywhere.
Mark, we'd love for you to dive in a little bit deeper into the mission critical and the data centers and what LG's doing there. So just, I know we kind of hit it at a high level, but maybe take a couple of minutes and talk specifics about what LG's doing, what makes us different, what makes us the right partner for these data centers.
You actually just said we have a full suite of products for the home. We have a full suite of products for in the data center when it comes to cooling. So the chillers, generating chilled water to go out to extra systems. We've got crack units and crawl units, which are computer room air conditioners or computer room air handlers that help cool the environment through air moving. And then we have CDUs and cold plate stuff for liquid cooling. When liquid cooling has become popular, so we design a cooling package specific to their chip package so that it marries well with that, and you get cooling at the source of the heat versus just cooling the room or cooling the building. As demand with AI chips keeps going up, the power and the heat they give off keeps going up. And we have clients around the globe that we service and provide products for to meet those needs. And we're starting to do it now in North America, so a provider can come to us, or a data center company can come to us, and on the cooling side, get all the products they need at a one-stop shop, and then all the controls with the AI you mentioned will talk to each other and give them a comprehensive suite of solutions.
So they're not buying a chiller from one manufacturer and all the other components from somebody else and having to build.
Yes, we enable that to be an option for our clients. If they want just chillers, we'll sell them just chillers. If they want just CDUs, we can do that.
Terry, what else we got? We want to make sure that we cover,
Yeah,
open up for questions. And guys, we are going to open up for questions here in just a couple of minutes. So let us know if you got.
there's a lot of conversation up here, which is, and then I'm thinking somebody has got to learn all this stuff.
Sure.
And somebody has got to be able to educate all this stuff. Talk to us if you can. What do you see from that perspective? What's the educational piece? What's the training piece?
So LG specifically is coming up with new training courses every day because we have new products that we're coming out with. Excuse me. A lot of talking this week. So training. Training's so important. When you think of HVAC, somebody my age at least might think of somebody with gauges and, just they go into your backyard and just checking something out. And the reality is that just like your vehicles, right? If your mechanic only has a set of wrenches, there's a problem, right? They need a laptop. They need to know what they're doing. They need to understand the refrigerant cycle to be able to see what's going on. And so when you're trying to get the most efficient thing, right? It's not a system that you can just do without the proper training. And so, LG has 6 training facilities throughout the United States. And then we sell through applied reps and distributors. They all also have training facilities. And so that's what we're always trying to do, is to get contractors, get people in the HVAC industry trained.
I know I've had that in the length of time that I've been here. I've had a great opportunity to stand in front of a bunch of folks, contractor driven, and help educate about this technology, help them understand. To Doug's point, if it was all just simple tools, it would still be simple tools, but that's not the efficiency. That's not the standard. That's not what people want, our government included, which requires smarter, better educated technicians and service folks.
Yeah. And we've made a big investment in our training. I know we opened Boston last year, and Chicago, Chambly is opening this year.
Yes.
Do you know when?
It may be Q1, April, beginning of Q2.
So soon.
Yeah,
Very soon. So that's exciting. We'll have a big launch party, I'm sure.
And then I know we're also our LA or Orange, I should say. I don't want to insult anybody.
Orange, California.
That facility is also opening this year too, or reopening.
Right. So that's a legacy facility. We moved locations, remodeled, all that.
Remodeled, made it bigger, more advanced, because we have to expand for everything that we do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've got more products and larger products. Mark's stuff takes up a whole city block, so you got to make room.
Hey, at least it comes on the trailers.
Right, got a free trailer.
Uh, guys, anything else that you want to make sure that you say while we're here, and then we're going to open it up for questions if anybody has any.
So just one last piece, as there's signs that say AI behind us with respect to the multi-VI unit. You know, AI, everybody, uses it to make their special avatar, or, something like that on their phone, things like that. But super powerful tools, right? And so our technology being as efficient as it is, variable speed depending on the pressures and temperatures that it's seeing in the system or seeing outside, you need to optimize how that works, right? You need some powerful technology behind it. And so not just how it works, but also technical support, the ability to get information quickly, find exactly what you're finding quickly, and then turn that into prognostics, diagnostics, in case there's any issues in the field. So you're going to keep seeing us move in that direction. So that was just the only other thing I wanted to.
Oh, I think that's important because, to Philip's point about us being perceived as a ductless supplemental residential product line, if the air conditioner or heat pump on my porch goes out, not mission critical. But if I'm a whole home solution and that system's out, that's mission critical. I need to be able to service, diagnose, repair, and get it up and running. Well, it's important.
So yeah, we've got a microphone here that's going to be going around. If any of you guys have anything that you want to introduce yourself, if you would, and then shoot your question.
Barry McIver, RCS Journal. In what ways does AI help with manufacturing?
So on the manufacturing floor itself, to me, when you think about manufacturing, you're thinking about asset utilization, making sure your equipment that's building things are proper, and that the quality of the product that you're making. Okay, and so AI in terms of how so I'm not as familiar with how LG's factories in Korea are using AI, but that's what I'd be looking for is optimizing, making sure that you're getting as much production capacity as you can, and there's a lot of, I don't know how many of you have been to Korea and looked at our manufacturing facilities, but there are multiple inline tests. And so being able to interpret the data from that test and make sure that it's working properly is super important. So that's where I see it could be helpful.
Given all what we've seen with regards to tariffs over the last 3 years, the tariff craziness, how much of your manufacturing are you doing here in the United States, and how much of it is being imported? And has the tariff changes impacted you guys? Michael Walsh with FM Link.
So thank you for that. So the tariffs, I mean, they'll impact any manufacturer, right? That's imposed on. I think in general, tariffs have raised the market price of products. We've seen prices go up in the industry, so it's impacted LG. But in terms of our manufacturing, the majority of our I don't know if it's a 80-20 or something along those lines, is from Korea or from outside the United States. We see expansion within the United States continuing for our manufacturing, but it's not the majority currently. So long story short, we see especially the products that are larger or like big boxes of air, like the rooftop unit behind you is, it's a very large, not very large, but the amount of air inside it is high. So you don't necessarily want to ship that across the world. So bringing those types of products, you see most of our Huntsville, Alabama plant is dealing with our ducted air-based products that that it makes sense to move here regardless of tariffs, right? So it really it's impacted more the industry rather than LG specifically, and so we've been able to adapt based on what we see, since it seems to be affecting most manufacturers.
I know on the residential side, we're moving to build that ducted platform that Doug mentioned in Huntsville. So, and the case coil as well as we move a little further down the road.
Well, guys, thank you very much for attending this morning. We appreciate your support. We look forward to working with each and every one of you throughout the year. And again, thanks for joining us this morning.